Real Man's Guide, I'm Hugh Whitehouse, and this is Yesterday Tonight, February 15th. In the news this week, convicted drug smuggler Schapelle Corby was released on parole after 9 years in an Indonesian prison. Yes, that's right, even fake news programs are leading with this story. Because checkbook journalism is so popular it even has its own Wikipedia entry, Schapelle Corby is reported to receive $2 million for selling her story exclusively to Channel 7. This means that for every day Schapelle Corby was locked away for a crime she was convicted of committing, she earned approximately $608 or $4,273 a week. Just as a point of comparison, that makes her wage 17 times the average Australian New Start recipient, 10 times the average aged pension, 7 times the Australian minimum wage, and 66% of what we pay our fucking Prime Minister. But, if getting paid for interviews worked for Richard Nixon, it may as well work for Schapelle Corby as well. Enter Captain Funtime, Queensland Premier Campbell Newman, who announced this week that his government would attempt to prevent Schapelle Corby, a Gold Coast native, from profiting from her situation. I'm deeply concerned that a convicted criminal has benefited from her criminal activity, Mr Newman told reporters in Brisbane this week, adding, if Schapelle Corby and her family want to profit from criminal activity, they can get elected to public office first just like the rest of us. Boom! Flappy Bird, a game you've either never heard of or a game that was installed on your iPhone until you threw it against a wall, has been removed from sale by its Vietnamese developer Dong Nguyen. The game, which had become an international sensation for its ridiculously simple yet addictive gameplay, raced to number 1 on the Apple App Store, which some suspected was bot-assisted manipulation. Despite creating a reported $50,000 per day in advertising revenue, the Hanoi-based developer tweeted the success and attention Flappy Bird generated had in fact ruined his simple life. While some attribute the success of Flappy Bird to its addictive gameplay, I attribute it to sounding like a puppetry of the penis maneuver. So now that it's been removed from sale, look for my new game, Hoppy Hoppy Hamburger, available next week. Forget duck face, forget hot dog legs, forget any semblance of faith you once had in humanity because selfieswithhomelesspeople.tumblr.com is now, apparently, a thing. The site is compiled but not endorsed by Fast Company's senior editor Jason Pfeiffer and shows the dark side of our social media obsession with constant self-promotion. While many visitors are shocked to see young people degrading homeless on social media, selfieswithhomelesspeople.tumblr.com encourages visitors to donate to organisations like Habitat for Humanity, City Harvest and other organisations that actively work to improve the lives of homeless people. Aw, isn't that kind of adorable? It's like Chris Brown getting you to donate for domestic violence. A Brisbane mother of 4 made headlines this week after sharing candid photos of her post-surgery body to publicise the plight of breast cancer survivors. Diagnosed with breast cancer on her 32nd birthday, Best Wonga underwent a double mastectomy, breast reconstruction and hysterectomy in November last year, which left her body visibly scarred. After sharing intimate images of her own body to Facebook as part of the Under the Red Dress campaign, Mrs. Wonga was unfriended by over 100 people who claimed the images were pornographic. Now, we don't editorialise much here at Real Man's Guide, but I'm going to take a moment to thank and congratulate Beth Wonga. These images are a solemn reminder about the physical realities survivors of cancer face when overcoming this terrible disease. Surviving cancer is a fight, and Beth Wonga is a fighter. We shouldn't judge her on her physical appearance, but I don't know, if we did, we'd say face 8, body 1. A Chinese man travelling from China to Wellington was stopped at a New Zealand airport where an 11-inch donkey penis he was carrying was confiscated by customs officials. Officials with the New Zealand Ministry of Primary Industries told reporters the passenger had declared the penis, along with other assorted donkey meat, as food on arrival to the country. Apparently, eating animal genitals is not all that uncommon in China, with restaurant chain Gu Yizhong specialising in dishes prepared from the junk of horses, oxen, donkeys and even dogs. I don't know what shocks me more about this story, that dick eating is so commonplace in China there is an entire chain of restaurants devoted to the practice like a McDonald's for animal dong. Or that this guy had such a low opinion of airline food, he decided to pack a wang to nibble on as an alternative. Could you imagine waking up next to him in the middle of that flight and in haze and being like, I thought we were getting peanuts. As the passenger declared the donkey meat on arrival in the country, it was just confiscated and destroyed. No charges were laid. And yes, this actually happened. In America now, and a St. Louis man this week pleaded guilty to mailing cat feces to a local company after they turned him down for a job. The 58-year-old man, Javon Brown, was sentenced to 2 years probation for the misdemeanor offence of mailing injurious articles. We've all been in Mr. Brown's position. Life is incredibly hard when you're unemployed. You spend hours trawling through Seek, you write tailored resumes and cover letters, you send them out, you sit and wait, you don't hear anything back, you start getting frustrated, you fill an envelope full of cat feces and you send it out to everyone that spurned you, then you make some 2-minute noodles and settle in for the afternoon to watch Ellen. When I was on Newstart, we just called that a Tuesday. An Ipswich man was arrested after he held up a 7-Eleven convenience store with a chainsaw this week. The man allegedly entered the 7-Eleven wielding a chainsaw and wearing a flower pot in his head in an attempt to mask his identity. Police say the man initially demanded cash and cigarettes from the terrified shopkeepers before leaving the store with a bottle of soft drink. Typical potheads. You go to the servo wanting one thing, forget what it was as soon as you get there, and end up leaving with an armful of junk food just because you've got the fucking munchies. For Yesterday Tonight, I've been Real Man's Guide. We'll see you next week.